trusted legal experts and make sure our community understands its rights and protections. Stay engaged. Drop your questions in the comments and share this live with someone who needs this information. When we know our rights, we protect our future. Thank you for joining us live tonight for National Action Network Legal Night. We are here to empower you with knowledge, connect you with trusted legal experts, and make sure our community understands its rights and protections. Stay engaged. Drop your questions in the comments and share this live with someone who needs this information. When we know our rights, we protect our future.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive on tomorrow night and beyond. Young America, hold your head high now. We can win. You must never stop dreaming. Face reality, yes, but don't stop with the way things are. Dream of things as they ought to be. Dream. Face pain, but love, hope, faith, and dreams will help you rise above the pain. Use hope and imagination as weapons of survival and progress, but you keep on dreaming, young America. Dream of peace. Peace is rational and reasonable. War is irrational in this age and unwinnable. Dream of teachers who teach for life and not for living. Dream of doctors who are concerned more about public health than private wealth. Dream of lawyers more concerned about justice and the judgeship. Dream of preachers who are concerned more about prophecy than profiteering. Dream on the high road with sound values. You must never surrender to inequality. I was born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me. And it wasn't born in you, and you can make it. Wherever you are tonight, you can make it.
Thank you for joining us live tonight for National Action Network Legal Night. We are here to empower you with knowledge, connect you with trusted legal experts, and make sure our community understands its rights and protections. Stay engaged. Drop your questions in the comments and share this live with someone who needs this information. When we know our rights, we protect our future.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening. First and foremost, I'm Christian Matthew. I serve here as the National Action Network Youth and College President and also here in the leadership of the House of Justice. And so we thank you for joining us for our first legal night of the new year of 2026. Thank you to those that have tuned in and that are watching for another legal night where we bring together the legal experts first in honor of our late great attorney, Michael Hardy, who the legal night is named after, who was our General Counsel and the Executive Vice President of the National Action Network, founded by Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton, and we are continuing to pray for Reverend Sharpton and also for the family of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. As you saw, as the video was playing just now, Reverend Jesse Jackson has passed. Reverend Sharpton went to be with his family on today as they opened up the service for Reverend Jesse Jackson, and we are continuing to pray for each of them in their time of grieving. But thank you again to those that have joined. Of course, we want to remind everybody of our national convention. We are a little over a month away from our national convention, which is April 8th to the 11th, where we are bringing in leaders from across this nation to come and speak to the issues of our community. And this happens every time around the time of the assassination of Reverend Dr. King. And as Reverend Sharpton teaches us, they may have killed the dreamer, but they did not kill the dream. And so we are continuing in that legacy. We are continuing in the fight. And so we wish that each of you would join us. If you want to register, you can call 877-626-4651 and register anytime, as the members of the House of Justice are at the lines waiting to hear from you, as well as if you have crisis. We are here every day, Monday to Friday. Again, you can call 877-626-4651. We also have our NAN Youth Huddle, which is every Monday from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. here at the House of Justice temporary location. So for those that do not know, as this is our first legal night of the new year, we have moved into a temporary location at the Harlem Commonwealth Building, which is here on 125th Street. And so if you are in need of assistance, or if you want to come join us for our NAN Youth Huddle, we are here every evening from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. at the Harlem Commonwealth Building. And we look forward to a great legal conversation with our attorneys that are online. So without further ado, I give us our attorney, Joel Smelkin, who will take us further in this evening's program. Thank you, Attorney Smelkin, and all of those that joined.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for coming by this evening, all of our people that are here on Zoom. It's a little different right now. Over the years, we have always been live at the House of Justice, which was, as we know, 145th Street. We're in temporary quarters right now, that being 361 West 125th Street, next to the post office on the 6th floor. This is going to be just temporary. Generally speaking, we have legal night live. We also have a Zoom feature. I like the live better. I think it's more personable. I'm old school. I like to sit with people, be with people, and sit down and talk in terms of what's on your mind and what we can do for you. I don't know how many people have checked in. I don't know how many people are here for the first time. But I will say this, legal night is very important. And we've been doing this now. This is the start of our 16th year. Legal night started back in January of 2011. I had a conversation with Mike Hardy the year before, back at the end of 2010. And he had ideas about bringing the community legal assistance. People that ordinarily wouldn't have access to attorneys. And this was really done as a project under the guidance, the tutelage, and the blessings of Reverend Sharpton. And it was a good thing to do, setting up legal night, because it's really in line with what NAN stands for. Helping those who have been pushed aside, underrepresented, and discriminated against. And a group of attorneys had volunteered time. And, we are not members, we are members, but we are not employees of the National Action Network. We don't ask for a penny. We don't ask for anything in return. We want to bring the law to you. We do this as a pro bono arrangement, because it's the right thing to do. And we're here to try to help. Hopefully next time we'll be back at the temporary quarters. As I said, 361 West 125th, 6th floor next to the post office, and have a live session. Legal night, for those of you who haven't been here, is done in three parts. The first part is an attorney will usually speak about various topics, things on your mind, a basic lecture, if you will. Over the years, we've spoken about issues such as what to do if you've been involved in an automobile accident, what to do if you're hurt in a building, what if you're hurt on a construction site, discrimination, what that means, and if you're a member of a protected class, medical malpractice, defective products, issues concerning street and sidewalk liability, wills, divorce, custody, immigration, bankruptcy, things of that nature, landlord-tenant. These are topics that are on people's minds. I specialize, my practice, on negligence in accident cases, in civil rights cases, police liability. But different attorneys on the panel have different fields where they specialize in. And we're here to provide information to you. Now, legal night could never come about if we didn't have the help and the guidance and just putting together the puzzle piece. And it's a difficult puzzle piece to put together. There's a lot that goes on in scheduling legal night. And I really want to thank so many people. And I know I'll probably forget a few names, but I want to thank Ashley Sharpton and Lisa Goldie Harps, Brenda Dock, and Winston Gilchrist, who always videos the legal night presentations. Brenda Ricketts, Chris Ricciardelli, Arthur Robinson, Dominique Sharpton, JT Trollinger, who's over here this evening. Thank you, JT. Sister Diane Word, who is usually here in person, helping out with the mic and helping people ask questions and just lining up the questions and answers that we have. and of course, Chris Matthews, who just spoke before. And of course, another person who was very instrumental in the beginning, those members of the National Action Network who have been here for quite some time. Remember Maxine Lewis, who started with Legal Night with the rest of the attorneys in terms of organization. We thank her. Over the years also, we thank the judges that have volunteered their time in bringing their knowledge and the court systems and how the courts work to this community. I thank Judge Kennedy, Judge Senria Edwards, Judge J. Mashal Sweeting, Judge Kim Parker. These are judges that have volunteered their time and their knowledge. And of course, Judge Milton Tingling has always been a part and given guidance as well. There are many attorneys that volunteer their time. Today we don't have too many attending. There's myself, Joel Schmelkin. Pete Gleason is here. Rob Bellinger is out of town. He was, when I spoke with him last, he was on a flight coming back, just couldn't make it in time. Gary Certain, Kyle Edmonds, Jeff Emden, Ken Gilbert, Carmen Jack Giordano, Michael Ross, Royce Russell, Eric Seifert, who's out in California, will probably be checking in later on. The time difference, if he can just get out of court in time. Wiley Steckler. So this is how we set up Legal Night. We have discussions first. Then when we were present, we would have people stand up in the House of Justice before the microphone and ask questions. Whatever's on your mind, as I say, you shoot from the hip. And a lot of times people would have questions and they wouldn't want to speak in front of everyone. They would want to speak with an attorney personally. So for that, we always used to leave time for people to mingle with one another, to speak, usually 45 minutes, an hour towards the end of the program. That's the general setup. And that's what we hope to start back next year, next month on March 26th. We'll start with some questions and answers. And I threw out topics before. You can ask anything you want on any of the suggested topics that I've mentioned, or whatever's on your mind. And you want to get up and just make a point, get something off your chest, that's fine. But what I will tell you is this: we're being recorded. You don't have to speak, and you shouldn't give out any personal information. You may have questions, and if you can ask any question that you have without having to give names and addresses and things like that, be confidential, because you never know what you say could be twisted around and taken the wrong way. Okay? So I ask you to keep that in mind if you have questions. All right? So that being said, I want to introduce you now to another colleague, a friend, a fellow attorney, someone who I've known and respected for many, many years. He's part of this Legal Night committee. He's here tonight to introduce himself and tell you a little about his practice. And I'd ask that Pete Gleason, introduce yourself, Pete, and tell us about your practice and how you can help our community. Thank you, and thank you all.
Thank you, Joel, and good evening, everyone that is supporting this Legal Night. But the most important folks are the people that we try and help on Legal Night. As Joel said, my name is Pete Gleason. I'm an attorney practicing well over 20 years now. I primarily focus on personal injury, civil rights, and helping people navigate the quagmire of the political process, if you will. We hear all too often that some people they have access to justice, and some people don't, and it's very frustrating. We all need to have the same access to justice. The government is there for us equally, not based on our race, religion, or financial wherewithal. So it's an honor and a privilege to be part of this Legal Night, and we always look forward to the very compelling questions we get from the audience. So thank you, and thank you, Joel.
We have Any other attorneys that checked in this evening so far? If not, we can just go to some Q&A. Okay. Does anyone have some questions you want to put in the chat or speak?
I have a question.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'm translating on behalf of my boyfriend, but he's right there with me. It's something that happened to him, and then he needs some legal advice.
Want to tell us a little about it?
It's up to him if he wants to.
Okay. If not, what I suggest is that he contacts the National Action Network tomorrow. He'll speak to someone in crisis, and they can refer him to an attorney. And you have their number, I'm assuming. If not, it's 212-690-3070.
Let me check because I don't know if that's the same. You said 212-690-3070?
Correct. You might have a toll-free number also.
I don't have the toll-free number, but I have that number. It's something
Okay.
that happened to him, or it's it's based on racism. So I don't know if somebody can help him with that. I'm just translating what happened to him.
Sure. Well, what you can do is, if you want to tell us generally what happened, that's fine. If not, you can call the office tomorrow, and someone in crisis will refer you to one of the attorneys on the panel.
It's fine. She can do it. I don't mind.
Okay. So I know what I'm gonna say did not happen in New York, but we in New York right now, but it happened in Nebraska.
Mhm.
So he got arrested for a terrorist threat, but the gun is my gun. I have my license for it. He got his license for it also. The judge and his attorney and the prosecutor said that they want to give him 50 years to life because he did not shoot anybody. The gun that they said they took from him, they took him from my car, and they did not have any permission to go in my car. So, and also, I called 911 when I was up there because my kid's father was threatening me to kill me, and then the neighbor that I had upstairs was harassing me. They blamed that on him, saying that ever since we was in Nebraska, he's the one that started problem with the cops. His record is clean, by the way. His record is clean. He never got charged for anything. So now they want to put him in jail for 50 years for, I'm gonna tell you, it's self-defense, because it is self-defense, because it the video, the evidence show that is the people that came bothering him, because he was a manager at McDonald's. He was a manager at the McDonald's, and then so those kids, those young men, they came in and harassed him because of his accent and because he's immigrant. So they was making fun of him, and they told him that what time he's getting off work. He said at 2:00. So they all came back. I'm guessing about maybe 15 people that was in the car, because it was like a 3-car. I don't know how many people exactly that was there, but I was there when that happened. I was there when that happened. So they're accusing him of terrorist threat because what he had in his hand, it doesn't look like a gun in his hand. It looked like my phone, because he had my phone at the time. I was doing DoorDash. So they're accusing him for terrorist threat when he did not do anything wrong. We have the proof, we have the evidence. His lawyer, which is the public defense, don't want to give him the real video of what happened. Every time he asks for the video, they keep putting it on Blu-ray. He doesn't want my boyfriend to put it on the news because it's all live. They're judging him because his license is suspended. That have nothing to do with anything. With the gun charge, they charging him for C felony, which he did nothing wrong. When I said that nothing, absolutely nothing. They've been racist towards him. And I actually heard his lawyer, because I went to court for a ticket that I had to pay, and his lawyer said the more black people he put in jail, the more money the city gonna give him. So they want to give him 50 years for nothing, for no reason. He did not shoot anybody. He did not pull the gun on anybody. Nothing of whatsoever.
When does he have to be back? When does he have to be back in court?
By April 9th.
April 9th. And also the thing is, they also make him do a evaluation. I don't know why. They making it really hard for him, because he told his lawyer to give him the video. So he told the judge, he told him, his lawyer, none of them want to give him the video, because they want to make lies on him.
Let me ask you this.
January 20th, he went to court January. When he went to court, I wasn't there, but I'm gonna let him tell you what happened in January when he went to court. I wasn't there in court.
Let me just mention something to you, okay? Because I don't want you to say anything to jeopardize your case. But here's what I will tell you. Here's what I will tell you. Every state is different. Every state has different procedures. In New York, for example, many times if somebody is arrested and gone through the system when there was no probable cause to make the arrest to begin with, and it was done with a discriminatory tone, if there was racial profiling, if there's maliciousness, not only do you have a situation where your case will be thrown out and dismissed, but you don't stop there. There are many times when you have a civil rights case and you can sue for money damages to turn the tables around for what they put you through. Every case, every state is different. New York has one set of rules. Different states have different set of rules. What I recommend you do is as follows. How far are you from Omaha?
I'm sorry?
How far are you from Omaha? This happened in Nebraska.
No, it happened in Lincoln, not Omaha. It happened on Lincoln.
Right. How far is that from Omaha?
It's like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. That's not far. Look.
30 minutes in Omaha, and 30 minutes. Lincoln and Omaha is like 30 minutes.
Let me tell you something. Here's what I recommend. Recommend you contact the office, the National Action Network office tomorrow. They may be able to get you somebody, a local attorney out in Nebraska. There may be a chapter that they can put you through to speak with a local attorney. If not, I know someone in Omaha. I don't know whether or not this individual does this type of work. I haven't spoken with him in years, but I don't mind speaking to you about this and trying to put you in the right direction if you can't get any guidance through NAN's a local chapter. There may be a chapter. So I ask tomorrow, call the office, speak to somebody in the morning in the crisis division, and they may have a local attorney. If not, you'll give me a call. They'll give you my name and number, and I'll try to get you somebody. Someone I dealt with many years ago.
We have all the. He did the lawyer. He called to report the lawyer. They don't want to help him.
I understand. So you may need a different lawyer. So that's why I'm saying to please call the office tomorrow and see whether or not they can recommend you to a chapter in that division, in that part of the country. But if not, they will give you my name and number. I'm here in New York, but I do know some attorneys. They'll give you my number.
You know some attorneys in Omaha?
I know an attorney in Omaha. I haven't spoken with him in many years, but I don't mind making a call for you and putting you in touch with this attorney in Omaha. Okay?
Okay, so
it's worth a shot.
So you don't wanna call the attorney yet.
No, because what I want you to do is I want you to call the office tomorrow. You'll speak to someone in crisis to see if there is a local chapter that NAN can refer you to in that division. And if there's an attorney there, fine. If not, I'll try to contact the other attorney who I knew many years ago and see whether or not they can help you on a criminal case.
Okay, because when I had called, I was talking to a lady. She said if there's any attorney that I can contact up there, and every lawyer that we contacted up there,
Elkins, no.
His lawyer named Elkins, he said no, he don't want to give any.
But so it may be better that you don't deal with an attorney in Lincoln, you deal with an attorney in another city in the state. And if Omaha is not that far from where you are, maybe that
I
can help.
did. I did went to Omaha,
You
and
You did.
somebody.
and I spoke to a lawyer, and the city lawyer in Lincoln, he said no, and the judge said no also.
All right,
The judge
listen,
in the city
I'll
law-
try to get you to somebody for you. You'll call Nan tomorrow, and I'll try to get you somebody. All right?
Please do that for me.
Okay,
Okay,
so
thank you.
call and explain to them everything. Tell them the
No,
case
what you're gonna do is, you're gonna speak to the crisis department, the crisis division in Nan tomorrow, and they're
Okay.
gonna try to see, to put you in touch with a local chapter of Nan out over there. And if that
Okay.
chapter can't help you, you're gonna call me, and I'll try to get you somebody who I dealt with many, many years ago. I don't know if they can help you, but it's worth a shot. And I don't mind
Okay.
making a call for you.
No
Okay.
problem. So what
Thank
time
you.
they open? What time they open tomorrow?
Call tomorrow by 10 o'clock New York time.
I'm in New York right now. We're in New York right now. Me and my
Okay,
husband
so
in New York right now.
call tomorrow by 10 o'clock. All right?
Okay, I'll do that. Is there a specific name I should ask
Anybody.
for? Anybody?
Anybody. They're all very, very good and helpful.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have something else to say.
No, that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Zoom user, you're next.
Hi. I wanted to speak to you guys today to see if it's possible that someone may be able to help me. This is about my son. In 2011, I lived in Syracuse, New York. My son's name is Aaron Jackson. My son had been accused of first-degree attempted murder on a police officer. My son was 19 at the time. He did not have a criminal record as a juvenile or an adult, never been in trouble. And my son was hanging out with this older guy who had been, he had been involved in doing things with him. At the time this court for the first degree attempted murder situation happened, my son's attorney name was Susan Carey.
You don't have to mention the name. You don't have to mention
Okay.
it. We don't need that.
All right, in Onondaga County. And there was a videotape involved. My son's statement stated that he never shot at anybody, that the older guy sent him into the restaurant to rob some drug dealers. He gave him the gun, he gave him the clothing. My son said, "Mom, I ran inside," and this is also his statement. He went inside, he robbed the drug dealers, he ran out, the cook started chasing him. He shot down to the ground one time, the cook ran back. My son said that he ran to the back door that was supposed to be open, but it wasn't. So he ran into the bushes. He stayed into the bushes until the guy told him the door was open, and then he ran inside the building. She never watched the videotape with him, even though Judge Lloyd kept saying that we needed a suppression hearing. Now, I have no criminal record. I have a DUI. I don't know the law. I never got in really big trouble. I didn't even know what a suppression hearing was. But during the one of the cases, I kept hearing Judge Lloyd say, "You need a suppression hearing." And once I started to pay attention, I watched my son's attorney and Mr. Coolidge walk up to the judge. Then we got the suppression hearing, appear back in court in 30 days. Within those 30 days, I kept asking her, "When are you gonna, show the videotape to my son?" And she would never return my calls or anything like that. Finally, the day of the suppression hearing came. I was there first, and she told me, I said, "Okay, what did you see?" And she said, "I saw your son shooting at the police." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Are you positive?" And she's like, "Yes." I was like, "Okay, well, can you get an adjournment so that I could get my family involved so we can get another attorney?" She started stuffing her stuff in her bag, saying that I'm not doing a good enough job, and she walked out. They brought my son out, and she told us that they're offering my son 75 years if he go through with the suppression hearing. He never changed his statement. She said that she told him, I saw you shooting at the police. He was like, I didn't shoot at anybody. They gave us about 5 minutes to decide. We didn't know what to do without her counsel. And my son, he pled to the 25 to life. Shortly after that, they brought my son. A lot of detectives came upstate to talk to my son about a murder. The murder happened in 2010. A gentleman, my son, said he was there. This is what he told me. He said he had gave the older guy a ride. The older guy was meeting another guy for a drug deal. The guy that was selling the drugs knew who this person was and what he was capable of, and asked several people to appear there with him, and they did not. My son said it was him, the older guy, and his nephew. He said, Mom, he said, I rolled the blunt, put it on the dashboard, and when I looked up, I saw them in the van fighting. He said he saw the guy, the driver, jump out of his van, and the guy that he brought there jump out behind him and start shooting at him. And my son said he jumped out the car like, what are you doing? And the older guy shot the guy. He told my son that if my son said anything, that him and his nephew would say that he shot this person. And this is how he got my son involved into all these crimes. My son knew this older guy through his best friend, auntie, friend. It was her boyfriend.
All right,
And this is how he knew him.
He was sentenced in 2011?
Yes.
All right. When is the last time you spoke to the attorney about this matter?
Right after it happened, I put in a complaint about her and tried to get the videotape.
Right.
They told me that if I get the tape, they were going to close the case. And I said, sir, you guys can't just make a copy and give it to me, because before my son was sentenced, I paid Tylen Bozeman, an attorney in Syracuse, New York, some money to take a look at the tape to see if we did the right thing. The attorney would not give her the videotape. She just kept saying, everybody has seen it. They saw my son shooting at the police. But I told her, when they told me that if I get the tape, then they were going to close the account, I had needed to see that. So I got the tape.
It sounds like you didn't have good representation at that particular point, and that you weren't kept up to date. Pete, do you want to maybe address some of those issues with respect to the criminal case?
It gets worse, sir.
I can see where it's going. Yeah.
No, my son was murdered in Attica on December 28th, 2024. I heard it was a law that was passed that if someone's civil rights was violated and it ended in death, that lawyer could be held accountable. How I knew his civil rights was violated, because the second trial came and Judge Brunetti was involved in that case. My son had a different attorney.
Look, you're right. It is getting a little more complicated right now. Now, did you ever file any paper with the state? This happened in 2024.
No one would help me. No one would help me.
Did you ever go to another attorney?
I contacted lawyers in Rochester, New York City. I didn't have enough money.
All right.
No one would help me.
Here's what I want to do. Look, I'll speak to you about this. You can call me tomorrow. You have a pen? Write this down. I'm going to give you my phone number now. Because it's more than a criminal case right now. It's a different issue here.
It's a few different issues, sir.
No,
I'm ready.
I know that, but I want to talk to you about this situation. My telephone is 212-227-8865. My name is Joel Schmelkin, S-C-H-M-E-L. Yeah, S-C-H-M-E-L-K-I-N, Joel Schmelkin. I want to
Okay.
talk to you about this. I have some questions that it may take a while. I don't want to, speak right now because it's confidential. A few things have come running through my mind, and I want to
One
talk to you.
one other thing I want to ask you about. In the process of back in 2024, my son had, well, 2022, my son married a young lady. He had been beaten in Sing Sing in 2022. So he had an attorney, him and 30 other inmates. The wife had walked away from him and would not help him. My son drew up a power of attorney that was signed, dated, and notarized in the jail, sent it to the lawyers May 8th of 2024. And they did not give it to me until after my son died in January of 2025.
There are certain other issues over here which do complicate the situation. I'm assuming that your son didn't have a will. I'm assuming he didn't have a will, correct? Okay. And he was legally married. When it comes to a possible wrongful death case, the next of kin or the personal representative is going to have to be appointed. If he's married to this woman, she's going to have standing. You might not want to hear this, but I want to discuss that with you when you call, okay? Because
Okay.
there are a lot of procedural issues that have to be dealt with.
Even when she brings drugs in jail and was convicted of it?
Unfortunately, it gets complicated because of the fact when someone dies without a will, you have to have a personal representative appointed to bring on a civil action.
Okay.
There are certain time limits that you have. Sometimes you can get extensions. There's a lot to it. I'll explain that to you.
All right.
And a lot of times it puts a bad taste in your mouth and you're not happy about these things, but I can't help it. I got to explain to you about the law. I don't want to explain that to you. It's just the bottom line is a personal representative has to be appointed. You might not like to hear what she has to do or say, but unfortunately, she may have one step above you on this with respect to bringing on a potential case, if a case exists. There are many times it may or may not exist.
No, one exists. She's been they made her executive of his estate.
Okay, well, she has an attorney then. She has an attorney. All right. Yeah, all right. I can talk to you about that as well. You'll give me an index number. I'll talk to you about that. I'll tell you about that. Okay.
All right.
All right. I'm sorry, and I just wish you and your family the best of luck moving forward. Okay?
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi. I'm sorry, I couldn't make it home in time and I really wanted to be involved, so I'm out in public, but I found a quiet place. My question is, I have my boyfriend was involved in 2023 first homicide in Bronx, New York. It was reported as a parking dispute, but that was not actually the case. The case was, it was a domestic dispute going on, and some women and adolescents tried to help the woman that was involved in the case, and the gentleman that that was involved with her pulled out a knife and was going after them. They called my boyfriend across the street. Ultimately, him and the guy, he tried to resolve it, but him and the guy got into an altercation. My boyfriend he did, someone had handed him a knife, and he put it away, but he got into a confrontation, a physical confrontation with the gentleman. It ended, the gentleman got in his car and drove away, but he drove to the hospital and ultimately he died. My boyfriend was scared once he found out that the guy died. And so he ran, which he shouldn't have. And they ultimately caught up with him. And he's now, they're now trying to give him 22 years. He's 55 years old. 22 years is basically a life sentence for a 55-year-old. He's been in jail for the past 3 years. The judge have given the DA certain things, discoveries to bring in, 38 in total, and the DA did not present him in 3 years. So after 3 years, then they decided to change DAs. This was basically him being a good Samaritan, and you know, and now he realizes he should have minded his business. But you know, what could have possibly happened if he did not get involved? His lawyer, Miss April Cohan of White Plains, is they're going to take it to trial because he's not going to take. He doesn't want to take the 22 years. Um, he um he basically was being a good Samaritan, and it might have cost him his entire life. And there's so many discrepancies in what the DA is supposed to do and not doing. And there was even a time where the judge made a out loud statement, which is on record, accusing. I mean, not he didn't say allegedly. He just basically accused my boyfriend of the crime when he's the judge and he's supposed to be the neutral party. So there's so many discrepancies within the judicial system. And I recognize, you know, when you don't get a paid lawyer, you don't get the top services that you would when you get a public defender. My question is, we're at a standstill where his lawyer is not presenting everything that he tries to, you know, she's not presenting any no witnesses. The DA has 20 something witnesses. There's full footage. We have the guy's toxicology. I myself am a case actee. This man had all type of opioids and alcohol in his system. Where the question was, do we need to get a new lawyer, because it doesn't feel like she's doing her best efforts. She's laughing, he-heing with the DA during intermissions when they have court sessions. There's so much more to the story. I even have all the motions. I mean, all, you know, the paperwork on the different discrepancies. I was hoping that maybe I could possibly get a meeting with someone so that I could show the footage and show that, because in the footage it shows exactly what I just said. The guy was going off, going crazy on them. My boyfriend comes across the street and they get into an altercation. And then my boyfriend walks away, and then the guy gets in the car, but even still trying to be aggressive. But at this point, the woman that he was initially fighting gets him to get in the car, and they pull off.
Is Mr. Gleason, maybe do you want to comment on the criminal procedure, just to our caller, just to let her know a little about the criminal procedure, what you can expect? Is Pete Gleason still here? No, there we go.
So herein lies, and your first name, ma'am, just so I can.
My name is Nicola.
Okay, Nicola, here lies the issue. Once you start a proceeding, right, you either have to, and you're not happy with your lawyer, you either have to discharge that lawyer and substitute counsel is what they call. The court is not going to allow you to proceed without a lawyer. And many times the court will say, this is too far along, this is a delay tactic. So right now, is there a trial scheduled, or is there?
Yeah, the trial, they're about to start jury selection. The trial's to be around Easter.
Okay. And your present attorney is either an 18B or a legal aid?
18B, I believe.
Okay. And this is Bronx County, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what your main, I mean, I heard some of your grievances. The fact that the lawyer and the district attorney are talking to one another, you know, that happens all the time. Lawyers talk.
Right, and I get that.
Themselves. It doesn't make you feel comfortable though, because when you have a lawyer or a loved one has a lawyer, you want total loyalty from that lawyer because you're your loved one's future is in their hands. I get that. But what if you had a magic wand, what would you like to see happen at this juncture right now?
If I had a magic wand, considering that, again, he's 55 years old, he's been in there 3 years, going through turmoils of fighting gang members when he's not a gang member, but how it goes in jail, So he was even at one point so depressed, he even attempted to commit suicide because he felt like his life is gone. I feel being that there's footage of exactly what I said. It should be time served. I get it. The gentleman died, but the gentleman was the aggressor. My boyfriend was not the aggressor, though he came over there to try to use conflict resolution, but it did not work because the guy was so high, he was so aggressive, it turned into an altercation. And all of this is on the footage. You can see exactly how I said on the footage. So being that he did 3 years already, the guy's toxicology is over the top. I just don't understand what would be the purpose of giving him all that time when he was not the aggressor and he's already served some time.
And do you have access to this video?
I do.
Okay. So I'm happy to review how long is the video?
There's actually it's several different videos, but I have I'm supposed to meet with his lawyer on the 3rd to get the main focus ones that she's going to use for trial. So I can get that. I have access to that.
Okay. And what is your boyfriend's lawyer telling you? Because every lawyer does this. Every lawyer will tell you, you know what, it's a tough case and there's certain problems. And that's because they don't want to, no lawyer is going to tell you, you got nothing to worry about, because then when there is something to worry about, what's the first thing you say? You told me there was nothing to worry about.
Right.
So, and, the lawyer has to emotionally detach themselves from every case that they handle, because once they become emotionally invested in the case, they can no longer really operate at an optimum level. So
right.
When you meet with her, because if what you're telling me is that your boyfriend was acting as a good Samaritan,
Mm-hmm.
and the aggressor ended up deceased because of,
Mm-hmm.
as there's something called felony homicide, meaning if you're part of a group that is robbing a bank, even if you're the getaway guy or the guy a block away looking for the police, everybody can get arrested and prosecuted for felony murder. Okay? In this case, I don't know the particulars, but you need this video. And listen, if the video shows exactly what you're saying it shows, then you should go to the media to say this man is.
I've reached out to the media. I've reached out to Jermaine Williams. I've reached out. Your organization is just one of the very many organizations that I did reach out to. The lawyer had told me that, in her experience, that when involved media, it makes the lawyer, the DA, and the judge more conservative, which I don't really understand what that means, and would push them to take it to the extent of the law.
Well, listen, I'm a firm believer that if there's an injustice, you need to shine a light on that injustice. And if
Right.
what you're telling me is true, and I have no reason to doubt you.
Mm-hmm.
What you call, if my name is Peter Gleason, you can call it, It looks like you're outside, huh?
Yes.
Call National Action Network tomorrow, and they will give you my personal cell phone, and I'm happy to have a further conversation. Because
Thank you so much, sir.
I will look at that video. And listen, just for full disclosure,
Uh-huh.
I'm a former member of the NYPD, and I know from that perspective, I know how screwed up the system is.
Right.
Okay? There are many guilty people walking the streets, and there are many innocent people sitting in Rikers Island. So call
Right.
the desk tomorrow, and they'll give you my cell phone. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Hang in there, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Okay, Attorney Smoke, and we can go to the online questions from YouTube and Facebook.
Sure. Okay. Anyone have any questions we can help you with?
I have another question again. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's about I don't know if you guys can help, but it's about an ACS case.
ACS. What you'll do is this. There is one or two attorneys on the committee that's not here today. Call the office tomorrow, and they will get you the name of an attorney that does ACS and child custody cases.
Oh, so you guys don't do child? You guys don't do family?
I personally don't. There is another attorney that does some child custody work. He's not here. He's not here tonight. But if you call the office tomorrow, they'll give you that information.
Okay, so are you gonna? Is there gonna be another live tomorrow?
No, what you'll do is when you call tomorrow to ask about the attorney in Nebraska, you'll also ask about a child custody attorney.
Okay.
Because there is one or two attorneys on the panel, but he's not here tonight.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck, okay?
Thank you. Have a good.
That's okay. My pleasure. Okay.
Georgia Daniel asks if a person slips on ice while at a gas station, is the store management responsible?
Okay, I'm sorry. What is the question? This was on Facebook? The person's not here, or?
Yes.
Okay, so the question is what? Hello, could you just repeat the question? I'll answer it for you. Okay. I think the question is that if someone is at a gas station and slipped on ice, is there a case? Can they sue? Is that the question? Okay. All right. Let me try to answer that question because I do a fair amount of this type of work, especially right now that we've had these snowstorms. When you're on private property, the owner of the property or the lessee of the property has a duty to maintain that property in a safe and reasonable manner, especially if they're in business and they invite people in to service, to provide services for them. You have to be able to show a defective condition. Certainly ice in a gas station is a defective condition. However, the owner of the gas station has a lot of defenses. Just because you slip and fall on ice doesn't mean you have a case. You, as a plaintiff, as an injured party, have to be able to show many things. Number one, that it was dangerous, which I think we can show that. And number two, that it was there for a certain period of time, that the owner knew about it or should have known about it. Now, how do they know about it? Well, if it's something which is right under their nose and they walk out to the pumps, they're going to see it. If someone told them, hey, attendant, you better clean up that ice over there. Someone's going to slip and break their neck. They know about it. If they don't know about it or no one told them about it, the condition of the ice could be such that it had to have been there for a while. For example, if you see ice that is dark and gray and you see footprints in the ice, what does that tell you? It means it's been there for a while, because you as a plaintiff have to show, again, that it was there for a while or that someone told them about it. A defense that the gas station has is always that they didn't know about it or that it was snowing or hailing when that happened. If it's snowing when an accident happens, even though you fell on ice, if it's snowing, they have a defense under the law, and that's called the storm in progress defense, when you can't sue them. But let's get past that first hurdle. Let's assume that you can show that it was there and that they knew about it, or that it was in a condition that had to have been there for a while. Like I told you before, the footprints in the ice. A defense that the gas station owners are going to show is, hey, listen, how come 100 people walked by and only you fell? Is it because you weren't looking? Is it because you were running? Is it because you were negligent yourself? That's always their defense. And the reason why they say that is, under the law of the state of New York, we have something called comparative negligence. And what that means is that if there is a defective condition which caused you to fall, but you yourself are to blame, then your case that you have is discounted the same percentage that you are found to be to blame. For example, if you end up suing the gas station and you go to court and a jury says, okay, it was a defective condition, yes, they knew about it, but you, Mr. or Ms. Plaintiff, the injured party, you should have been more careful. You're 35% to blame, and the gas station is 65% to blame. Well, if your case is worth $100, you don't get $100. You get $100 minus that degree to which you were found to be to blame, or 35% or $35 gets discounted from your case. So now a $100 injury is now worth $65. That's how the law works in the state of New York. So the short answer is yes. If it's a defective condition that they knew about or should have known about it, you can sue. But again, they're going to have a lot of defenses, one being, again, that you yourself were to blame. There are a lot of other defenses too. You may fall and say, well, my back hurts me. But then again, you might have had 10 cases in the past where you're claiming back injuries. So that's going to be something which is going to eat away at the value of your case. So again, the short answer is yes, subject to a lot of defenses that the defendant, the person that you're suing, is going to have. Okay, thank you.
He said thank you. That's all for online.
Okay, great. And I'll go one step further. If the individual is injured and has any questions, call the office. They'll give you my number. I'm more than happy to speak to you about a potential case if a case exists. Okay. Okay, how are we doing? Got anybody else? Well, if we don't have any more questions at this point, maybe Chris can give some comments, and then I'd like to speak to everybody and just give you some thoughts about what to expect in the future.
Yes, thank you, Attorney Smelkin, and thank you again to all of those that joined this evening for our legal night. Again, please remember to register for our national convention, which is April 8th to the 11th. Also, we have moved our Saturday Action Rally. I forgot to mention that the first time. We have moved our Saturday Action Rally to the Mother AME Zion Church, still from 9 to 11. But we hope that all of you will join us. And again, thank you for joining. We are turning it back over to Attorney Smelkin.
Okay. So let me just mention a few things before we wrap up for this evening. This is the abbreviated version. This is not the way we're used to dealing with legal night, but it was important that at least we tried to do something. Legal night has always been every month, with the exception of August, November, and December, and we're going to keep this going because this was something, a project of Mike Hardy, who was not only a friend, a mentor, a leader to all of the attorneys, but probably one of the best civil rights attorney in this country. And in honor and memory of him, we're going to keep Legal Night going. And we want to do it the way we always have done it, in person. Once we will be in permanent quarters, so to speak, we'll have things in person, and we'll get a chance to meet one-on-one, the old-fashioned way, seeing people, and just discussing your rights and your legal issues. As I said, it's going to be the last Thursday of every month, with the exception of November, December, and August, and then the next one will be March 26th. We have some judges that are going to be present in honor of Women's History Month. We hope that we have some other space available. We hope to see you in person, 361 West 125th, as I said before, next to the post office, the 6th floor. But, you know, as Chris Matthews just told everybody, you don't have to wait till the last Thursday of every month if you have legal questions. You got a great staff, this National Action Network support staff, and they are available to answer questions whenever. You'll call, you can walk in. The Saturday rallies, as Chris mentioned to you, are great if you've never attended it. You hear Reverend Sharpton speak about current events, about national issues, and it really gives you that jolt, that extra caffeine, I think, that you need to get you going through the week. You don't have to have a ticket. You don't have to be a member. You just have to have a commitment for justice and to do the right thing. And please go to the rallies. Questions, answer. Stop off the National Action Network. We hope to see everybody again next month at the end of March. And I think we may have one other question. Did anyone have a final question? That I could just get to? One other question? Okay. Well,
I have a question. The host. Okay.
You have what?
Oops. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm in a car and I can't. The video is not coming on.
That's
Can
okay. You know
hear
what? Call the office tomorrow. And
Okay.
again, the crisis department will help. They'll try to answer the question, or at least steer you to the right attorneys for you. Okay?
Okay. Got it.
So,
Thank you.
thank you very much. And again, we'll be in better quarters next time. We'll be in person, and we hope to see you and bring a friend. Okay? Thanks a lot.